Es ist sowieso schwierig, Künstler zu sein, aber für eine Frau sind die Schwierigkeiten doppelt so groß. Es gilt auch zum Beispiel, sich zu befreien von dem Bild, das die Gesellschaft von der Frau hat. Eine Frau darf ja eigentlich nicht denken. Eine Frau darf keine aggressiven Ideen äußern. Und jedes neue Bild, jede künstlerische neue Sprache darf ja nicht aggressiv sein, wenn es eine Frau macht, sonst entspricht es eben nicht diesem Bild. Und das, was jeder Künstler natürlich muss, ist neue Gedanken formulieren. Und die neuen Gedanken sind eben aggressiv.
Surrealism, a radical 20th century art movement, aimed to shatter traditional constraints and liberate creativity from societal norms. It transcended the boundaries of an art movement, embodying an attitude and a deep desire for liberation that extended beyond artistic expression, permeating literature, film, psychology, and political activism. Inspired by the psychological theories of Sigmund Freud, Surrealists plunged into the depths of their subconscious, creating art that defied logic through its dreamlike and often irrational juxtapositions. The devastations that were brought on as a result of World War I served as the backdrop to Surrealism's birth. Traditional societal structures and beliefs were shattered, leading to a profound questioning that gave rise to the Dada movement, from which Surrealism later evolved. While Dadaism used absurdity and nonsense as a form of protest against the senselessness of war, Surrealism sought to reconcile the conscious and the unconscious realms of experience so completely that the realm of dream and fantasy would be joined to the everyday rational world. The movement's official recognition came in 1924 with the publication of the Manifesto of Surrealism by André Breton, a French writer and a poet and the leader of Surrealism. However, despite its revolutionary ideals, the movement's sexism was evident. In Breton's second manifesto, he says the problem of women is the most marvelous and disturbing problem in all the world. In this one sentence, he showcases Surrealism's misogyny. Women were central to the movement, but only as muses, not as artists in their own right. Notwithstanding its claim to cultural liberation, Surrealism's inclusivity was constrained by the prejudices of its leading figures. While artists like Salvador Dali, René Magritte, and Max Ernst often dominate the discussions, their prominence reflects societal privileges as much as artistic merit. It's critical to remember that many influential female artists also shaped Surrealism. Their significant impact often overlooked due to the overshadowing fame of their male peers. First up, we have Frida Kahlo. Universally celebrated, her artworks embodied both personal hardship and the complexities of cultural identity. Stricken with polio and a debilitating bus accident, Kahlo found peace in art while bedridden. She created deeply honest and poignant portrayals of her physical suffering and emotional turmoil. That's what we see in her remarkable pieces, her vulnerability. She depicts herself with raw honesty and courageously lets us in without hesitation. This standout piece, Self-Portrait Along the Borderline Between Mexico and United States, exemplifies her mastery of surrealism and symbolism combined with her roots in Mexican folk art. She stands motionless between two vastly different worlds, the industrialized United States and the historically rich, nature-infused Mexico. Set in the aftermath of the Mexican Revolution, the painting mirrors the period's rise in national sentiments. Mexico was seeking to redefine its identity, assert its autonomy, and challenge the dominance of its northern neighbor, the United States. The stark contrast between the two sides illustrates her internal conflict and the broader sociopolitical tensions of this time. She wears a pink dress and lace gloves. Her demure appearance is juxtaposed with her defiant stance and a cigarette in hand. She She has a commanding presence that comes through this alluring facade, as she reminds us of her agency and unwavering spirit that defies the limited perceptions society holds of female artists. She brilliantly and beautifully uses symbolism to illustrate the clash between nature and industrialization. Exotic plants with white roots contrast against black electric cords, and the light sources on each side further emphasize the difference between the two nations. On the right, we can see factory vents resembling faceless subjects, while the left side contains rubble and ancient figures symbolizing the remnants of history and cultural heritage. Despite its disorder, the Mexican side exudes humanity and embraces its vibrant culture, standing as a powerful testament to resilience. In the midst of these visual elements, Kahlo's position stands as a powerful depiction of her own dual identity as a Mexican woman living in America, a move she made a few years before creating this piece. This artwork challenges the viewers to contemplate the implications of modernization and the significance of preserving our natural and cultural heritage amidst change. Her work stands as an enduring testament to strength, self-expression, and the power of art to transcend borders. Another influential Surrealist artist is Remedios Varo. She was born and raised in Madrid, where her father introduced her to the arts from an early age before she pursued a formal education. The transformative years of her life began in the 1930s, when she moved to Barcelona and later to Paris, shifting away from traditional painting styles and embracing the intellectual company of modernist thinkers and surrealist artists. Her work beautifully blends mysticism, alchemy, and philosophy. She creates a unique reality through her intricate and imaginative paintings, where the dream state and conscious life merge. A striking example of this is the creation of the birds. Here, an owl-like figure is seen at a small desk inside an alchemy lab. Varo uses androgynous subjects, often reflections of herself, to challenge traditional gender norms. And in this way, she blends reality and fantasy and disrupts established beliefs. The laboratory, a sanctum of creation and transformation, brims with unique elements, like test tubes and an insect-like machine that drips paint onto a palette. Varo draws a parallel between the alchemical and the artistic process, where raw materials transform into profound expressions. A guitar over the artist's heart links to a brush, a beautiful interplay between emotion and creativity. The subject uses light from a far-off star, funneled through a triangular magnifying glass to give life to a bird, while two others take flight. The various stages of bird creation symbolizes the birth and actualization of artistic ideas. Our subject, immersed in a trance, exudes grace and nobility. Perhaps they are receiving insight from nature or the divine. Recognized across cultures as a bridge between the mortal and the spiritual realms, the owl often symbolizes wisdom and knowledge, reflecting Varo's own spiritual journey and meditative exploration. Varo once said, "The dream world and the real world are the same." This philosophy certainly echoes here, where the ethereal elements feel like they could vanish into the realm of imagination at any moment. Though Varo's narratives may at times be elusive, the energy radiating from her artwork captivates and invites us to dive in, offering each viewer a personal interpretation. Leonora Carrington, born in 1917 in England, was raised in a world of rigid social norms but refused to conform. Brought up by a wealthy industrialist father and an Irish noblewoman mother, her imagination was steeped in Irish folklore from a young age. Authors like Lewis Carroll and Beatrix Potter shaped her artistic sensibilities and fostered a deep appreciation for the power of storytelling. She maintained a youthful mindset, even reciting Lewis Carroll's rhymes well into her 90s. In 1936, her life took a transformative turn when she attended the first Surrealist exhibition in London and met Max Ernst, a major figure in the movement. Despite often being overshadowed by him, she carved out her own identity within the Surrealist movement, transforming her experiences, including the struggles and trauma from their tumultuous relationship, into empowering pieces. Her entire body of work is unified by an otherworldly dreaminess, frequent incorporations of creatures and enigmatic symbols, a combination that is deeply rooted in her surrealistic style and fascination with the mystical and the mythical. Her self-portrait from 1937 is a significant piece that offers us a glimpse into the artist's inner world. The scene features an interior space that is alive with symbols: a prancing hyena, a tailless rocking horse, and herself, dressed in white riding pants, her hair as wild as her spirit. Her gaze and gesture are shared with the hyenas, reflecting her alignment with this creature's raw, untamed energy. Hyenas and horses appeared in many of her works. They mirrored her longing for freedom and connection to nature. She once said, "I'm like a hyena. I get into the garbage cans. I have an insatiable curiosity." Through the window, a white horse mirroring the rocking horse on the wall gallops towards a vibrant forest, perhaps taking on a symbolic role as Carrington's surrogate. It moves freely into a lush and vibrant landscape that lies beyond the curtained window. The dichotomy between captivity and liberation comes out of the canvas. With this visual story, filled with surreal elements and personal symbolism, Carrington invites us to experience her unique perspective, a blend of childhood memories, folklore, her innate desire to break free from constraints, and a deep connection to the natural world. Dorothea Tanning, an extraordinary American artist, redefined the Surrealist movement by infusing it with her unique blend of dreamlike imagery and poignant feminist narratives. Her journey began in the bustling art scene of 1930s New York City, where she connected with and later married Max Ernst. Their relationship, both personal and intellectual, fueled a creative exchange that shaped their artworks over their 30-year marriage. Through Ernst, she found herself in a company of iconic surrealists such as André Breton, Man Ray, and Marcel Duchamp. They provided her with a fertile ground for exploration, yet her distinctive voice remained audible and impactful. She is known for her multidisciplinary approach to art, working in various fields like painting, sculpture, and writing. She never stopped pushing her own boundaries, no matter the medium, and even published a book of poetry called Coming to That when she was 101 years old. Her work harmoniously blends haunting visuals with her mastery of color and form, revealing the hidden layers of existence. We can see that here, in Eine kleine Nachtmusik, a little night music. Immediately, we can feel that this work is odd and eerie, with the haunting allure of childhood fantasies and nightmares. The scene is set in a hotel corridor. The door in the far right is partly opened, with a sliver of light coming through, suggesting the unseen narratives that could reside just a room away. Two girls are prominently featured in the forefront, but there are no visual cues that explain their connection. Possibly different facets of Tanning herself, their identities are left ambiguous, fueling speculation and deepening the painting's intrigue. The one in the center takes a more active role, appearing to have been in an entangled unseen battle with the life-size sunflower. Tanning saw sunflowers as emblematic of the ceaseless battles against unseen forces, which in this case can represent the challenges and the ongoing fight with the unknown that the youth face. Here she delves into the entanglement of personal dramas and confrontations, further heightened through her use of aggressive and vivid hues. She herself encapsulates its essence, stating, "It's about confrontation. Everyone believes they are their drama. While they don't always have giant sunflowers to contend with, there are always stairways, hallways, even very private theaters where the suffocations and the finalities are being played out. The blood-red carpet or cruel yellows, the attacker, the delighted victim." The title is borrowed from Mozart's cheerful piece, which you might have heard before. The contrast between the mood of the music and the visuals we have here create a striking juxtaposition of joy and unease. Likely an ironic choice, she uses the title to contrast the joyous evening, as depicted by Mozart's Serenade, with the mysterious anxiety-ridden night in her piece. Her legacy stands as a powerful testament to the power of limitless creativity, illustrating that nothing, not age, or one's self-identified gender, is a barrier to exploring new artistic pathways and expressing oneself. Born in 1913, Swiss artist Meret Oppenheim carved a distinctive niche in Surrealism by infusing everyday objects with new meanings, elevating them to the realm of thought-provoking art. The quintessential symbol of Oppenheim's creative genius is this fur-lined teacup, titled Le Déjeuner en fourrure, the luncheon in fur. Often simply called the fur cup, it is a masterclass in subversion. Born from an exchange in a Parisian cafe, where Pablo Picasso mused that anything could be fur-clad, referencing Oppenheim's fur-trimmed bracelet she had designed for Schiaparelli, Oppenheim responded, "Even this cup and saucer." She actualized this vision, marrying the mundanity of these familiar objects, a teacup, saucer, and a spoon, with the unexpected material of Chinese gazelle fur. The piece, an amalgamation of domesticity and eroticism, seemingly asked, what happens when the ordinary meets the extraordinary? What does it mean when a symbol of femininity wraps a utilitarian object? It was a slap to the face of conventions and norms, a challenge to perceive beyond the visual. Alfred H. Barr Jr., director of MoMA at the time, recognized its profound impact, featuring this piece in the 1936 exhibition, Fantastic Art, Data, Surrealism. He noted, few works of art in recent years have so captured the popular imagination. The fur-lined tea set makes concretely real the most extreme, the most bizarre improbability. The tension and excitement caused by this object in the minds of tens of thousands of Americans have been expressed in rage, laughter, disgust, or delight. MoMA later bought it for their permanent collection, making it the first piece by a female artist to be acquired by them. Her sudden success with this piece catapulted her to fame at the young age of 23. This rise to fame was followed by a long battle with depression that caused her to withdraw from the Surrealist circle. She feared being defined by this one work and the associated constraints it might impose on her future pieces, which caused a creative standstill that lasted almost 2 decades. She regained her artistic pleasure in 1954, venturing into new creative realms, including costume design, writing, and performative art, prioritizing the development of her ideas over public opinion. Although her first major U.S. retrospective came posthumously at the Guggenheim, her influential impact had already been recognized by Europe's young artists from the late 1960s. Today, her legacy is a testament to her daring vision and the lasting relevance of Surrealism. Her timeless masterpieces serve as an invigorating beacon, illuminating the way for generations of artists, particularly women, to challenge norms and express their unique perspectives. Living in an era where knowledge is readily available, we are empowered to reassess historical narratives and readdress past oversights. While the names of Frida Kahlo, Remedios Varo, Leonora Carrington, Dorothea Tanning, and Meret Oppenheim may not be as widely recognized as their male counterparts, their impact on art history remains profound. Kahlo's exploration of identity and suffering in her self-portraits, Varo's unique blend of nature, science, and magic, Carrington's incorporation of Irish folklore and personal narratives, Tanning's bold portrayals of female sexuality and the subconscious, and Oppenheim's transformation of everyday objects all pushed the boundaries of the Surrealist movement. Today, with emerging exhibitions, their enormous contributions are gradually gaining the recognition they deserve. While these women were alive, men overshadowed the Surrealist movement, often reducing women to muses rather than recognizing them as creators, yet they continue to shatter expectations. Beyond their stunning pieces, we find courageous spirits that continue to inspire new artists to defy convention, push creative boundaries, and rethink what it means to be an artist and a human. Thank you so much for watching. These videos take a lot of time, so your support is greatly appreciated.